Hi friends, welcome to Book Talk. In life, beware. Your attire speaks before you. Yogi Adityanath's attire, saffron attire, speaks before him. He happens to be the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh. Well, in this context, let me take you through a book titled The Monk Who Became the Chief Minister. This book has been written by a young author by the name of Shantanu Gupta, and the publisher are Bloomsbury. I just finished reading this book, and the author rightly calls Yogi Adityanath as a man on a mission. I took this book to hand not for any great high-toned literary sparks, but basically to understand how in this devious, fierce and cutthroat world of ours, a distinct no one becomes an illustrious someone. What arsenal of characters does this person have in terms of first as his childhood, then as a student, then as an adult? What characteristics did this person have to rise up to such great heights? This is what wonders me, and that is why I picked up this book to read. And believe me, the answers to these questions are not very apparent, and they can't be. But yes, one needs to dig into the hints, the insights, and even inferences provided by the author to ascertain the whys and the wherefores. Where, for a moment, let us keep the destiny aside. We all talk of destiny, that Yogi Adityanath might have been destined to reach this place. So let's keep that angle aside and see what are his characters as described in this particular book. The book also has a subtitle that says the definitive biography of Yogi Adityanath, as an inviting teaser to the title on the cover page. The author deals with the subdued childhood, non-flamboyant and traction-less personality of the protagonist in the last chapter, which I would have loved to read in the first chapter. But yes, the overall book is in easy read format, since I guess it is meant for the masses. The book can be divided into 5 major areas based on the chronology of the protagonist. Now, if we come to these particular chapters, they could be Ajay Bhish's childhood and how he became Yogi Adityanath. Now, Ajay Bhisht is the childhood name of Yogi Adityanath. Number 2 could be Gorakhnath Mutt. So Gorakh Dham, rather. Gorakh Dham Mutt is another chapter that can be taken out of this particular book, where Yogi spent a lot of time. Then his arrival and evolution as a politician, and of course after this, one of the most important chapters, I would say, is the misconception people have about him as a Hindu hardliner. A lot of people seeing the saffron clad monk feel that he is a Hindu hardliner, but there's something more to it. Rather, something is there which people don't know about him. Then his chapter as the Chief Minister. Now in this sleek book, which is well written. The author has but concisely described Ajay Bhish's childhood. He hails from a middle class background, and in all there are about 7 siblings. 3 are sisters, 4 are brothers, and he happens to be at number 5 after the 3 elder sisters and 1 elder brother. His father was a ranger in the forest department of Uttarakhand, and the father says in the book that Yogi Adityanath or Ajay Bhish was always fond of reading newspaper, and that goes to show that he was always interested in what was happening around the world. His educational life was spent in the hilly regions of Kumaon that now falls under Uttarakhand. He was always a very subdued but a thinking child, says his father, who loved nature, environment, animals, as can also be seen in the several pictures that have been filed in the book. And he was basically, he was also a cow lover. In November 1993, Ajay left his village, his parents, his friends, and even his studies, and without disclosing much, he went off to Gorakhpur. Now, how many people in today's world would do such a kind of a thing? And that is why the author calls him a man on the mission. And there in Gorakhpur on 15th February 1994, on the auspicious occasion of Basant Panchami, he was anointed as a Nath Panth Yogi by his Guru and Chief Mahant Avaidyanath. The book concisely also describes his journey from his college life, where he was pursuing MSc in Maths, to Gorakhdham Mutt, and thereon to the Coliseum of politics in detail. It even describes his activities as a Mahant, and even when he takes over as the head priest or the head Mahant of the Gorakhdham Mutt. But he always worked for the welfare of the needy. This is one point the author makes very clear. And in fact, he is a very peace-loving person. This is another point that the author makes, because he was the main person who broke the bastion of the mighty gangs of Purvanchal. Purvanchal is that area of eastern UP. And in those bastions that he broke, prime were Virendra Pratap Sahi and Harishankar Tiwari. He happens to be, the author further says that Yogi Adityanath is a workaholic who works for about 18 to 20 hours a day. The book juggles between, say, his personal, ascetic, as well as political journey quite sharply. He happens to be a Hindu hardliner. This is a good point that the author is making to clarify certain misconceptions about him. He happens to be a Hindu hardliner, but for only a Muslim hardliner. Otherwise, he doesn't harbor any first breath animosity with anyone. Even in Gorakhdham Mutt, his chief contractor is a Muslim and his name is Ansari, who can come to the temple anytime. He also, Yogi Adityanath also makes a point that Indian Muslims, when they go for Hajj, their passports bear them out as Hindus. So, in nutshell, a lot of people who harbor this very deep impression that Yogi Adityanath is a hardliner actually turns out to be he's a very practical kind of a person. This is what you get out of this book. The book throws up certain insights which are not known to the masses. Obviously, these books are well researched before they are written. You also have a number of reports and names of certain journalists who've had a kind of pathological hatred for Yogi Adityanath. The book also has a number of his speeches about minorities in great detail. The narration is full of press release, links, quotes of journalists, including TV shows such as Aapki Adalat and Aaj Tak. Besides this, I always feel that whether a book can make or break a person's image, but certainly it can change your opinion about the person. So book may not necessarily make or break the image, but it can definitely change your impression about a particular person. There are certain other facts also which you can dig out from this particular book that goes unnoticed in the normal sphere. One is Yogi is young and he has a lot of time ahead, and unlike many politicians in India who are catching up on age, he is quite young. He is an involved and engaging politician, and I'm sure you all must have seen him, how he speaks in the parliament. And he meets he meets hundreds and hundreds of people every day, which he has been doing for the last 20 years in his Janta Darbar. So he is quite used to being with the masses as such. And he has no axe to grind because he is a monk. He has been representing many standing committees in the parliament, so he knows the functioning of the parliament as well as the assembly, and he can get his way around. So that expertise or prowess is available with him. And he has acted as a CEO of a huge institution, that is the Gorakhdham Mutt. So he knows how to, he's got that managerial talent and experience. And another thing which I learnt about Yogi was that he was very helpful to his female classmates in college and school, and he never lost an election barring one in college. He's won all the elections. So friends, this particular book has been translated in several languages, including Hindi, Gujarati, Tamil, Kannada, Telugu and Marathi. And it has also seen several lit fests, and it has gone around places, and it's also been well covered by newspapers. So at the end of it, I would like to congratulate Shantanu Gupta for bringing about this a book of this nature. It's a good read if you want to know the person behind the saffron sheath. And a moral that I derive out of this particular book is change your thinking. Do not judge a person purely by his attire. Do not judge Yogi Adityanath by his saffron attire alone. With this, I close this particular program. And friends, if you like this program of mine, kindly share it, subscribe our channel, and soon we'll come out with another book. Till then, goodbye from Book Talk.